The Greater Israel Project that I would argue just a couple of weeks ago was DOA has now had real life breathed into it by the collapse of the Assad regime. And remember, we have puppets in Cairo and we have a puppet in Jordan. These puppets are paid off handsomely, and they are obedient to our will with regard to Israel. Now, Sisi is an amazing man. I'm surprised he's still alive because his population wants to go to war. I'm sure he has good security, and he's probably killed everybody that could possibly compete with him. But I wouldn't rule out that he could suddenly vanish from the screen if he continues on the same path, because right now he is purely a U.S.-Israeli puppet. Abdullah is in a different position. He's hostage to the Israelis for water for his country. The Israelis can cut off the water, and suddenly millions of people are going to die of thirst in Jordan, frankly. So I think Jordan is going to remain in this uneasy position, but the Islamists don't care about those things. And the Islamists will penetrate that Jordanian border as though there's nothing there. And once they move into that area, you could see chaos in Jordan as well. The point is that Israel has to be careful because what they think they can take and digest could, as you point out, be too much at this stage, and they could end up with more trouble on their flanks than they think. Remember that Hamas is not dead. It's been severely wounded, but it's not dead. And they have not succeeded in killing or driving out all of the Palestinian Arabs in Gaza. And they still want to do the same thing to the people living on the West Bank.
Right.
Because you only have so many forces, you can only stretch them so far. But the assumption has always been that people in the Middle East can be bribed, bullied, or bombed into submission. Well, I think the bribing and the bullying has reached almost its limits, and the bombing now has a serious effect, but I don't think the effect is going to be quite what it's been in the past. You're running out of really weak opponents and adversaries. You're going to start seeing some real resistance. And I'm talking primarily about the Iranians, their proxies in Iraq, as well as Kurdish elements and the Turks. These are serious people. They'll fight. It could get very, very bloody. Now, again, from an Israeli standpoint, they always look at their neighbors and celebrate whenever they kill each other. We, that is the CIA, and I think MI6 from Britain have had a hand in rebranding ISIS and all of these radical Islamists and making them into something else, at least on the surface, so that they could be utilized to attack the enemies that we have chosen. And those enemies are Iran and its Shiite supporters. So insofar as we've had a hand in that, I think it's a little ridiculous for him to say, well, we're keeping an eye on this because ISIS will take advantage of it. ISIS is there. ISIS is us.